think what gets kind of maybe a little annoying to me is I see Liam Hendriks being tossed around a lot in these speculative, trades. And it's always, well, we'll give you, our backup second baseman or, our second or third option at catcher. And you'll just give us, the second or third best closer in baseball. And it's like, no, that's not really how it works. Like I know he's making some pretty decent money and he's going to be on, probably a 2-year, $30+ million contract here left, remaining. But if we're going to give up our lockdown closer, at least one guy that's been thrown out there by, most, Jay's coverage has been Danny Jansen. Jansen batted 260 plus last year, had 15+ home runs, 27 years old. I think he's still controllable for a couple of years. Seems like a good catcher. What I'm kind of thinking is, okay, if we're going to go the Hendriks route and we're going to possibly, get rid of him, I would like to see us also maybe package Whit Merrifield in that kind of deal. I think that would, kill two birds with one stone for us. If we brought back Merrifield, he had 0 WAR last year, batted 250 with 11 home runs. I mean, not a Whit Merrifield type year, but he's the kind of player, if you could put him in at second base or even right field, and bring back Danny Jansen. I think, if we gave them Hendriks and possibly, a Gavin Sheets, I know they're looking for left-handed hitting and, somebody who could maybe play a little first base, a little DH. If they want to throw him out in the corner outfield, I wouldn't, advise it, but they could do it. Maybe there's some other scratch, maybe an extra reliever or something else we could throw in there. But I just thought maybe the structure of that kind of deal made a little bit more sense for me because, they'll still have Alejandro Kirk and Gabriel Moreno as their catchers. That's fine at that position. And they've got Santiago Espinal and Kevin Biggio who can play second. So it's like, you don't really need Merrifield and you don't really need Jansen. They're good players. And obviously you want to have them, but I think they would love to have a lockdown closer at the end of their bullpen, right in front of Jordan Romano. And, they brought over Eric Swanson and Teoscar Hernandez deal. It's just like, is it a wish list item for us? Like, I don't know. I mean, if we got rid of, Liam Hendriks in any sort of deal, like we're hurting ourselves. But I think the second part of this is if we were to kind of go off on that kind of route, there are 3 relievers out there, Andrew Chafin, Taylor Rogers, and Michael Fulmer, who, maybe they're not, your lockdown closers, but maybe by committee, we could figure something out with Kendall, Graveman and Ronaldo Lopez, others. So that's a lot to unpack, I guess, just for the catcher position. But I just was thinking scenarios, and I think there's a lot to break down in this. But feel free to react however you feel appropriately.
Yeah. No, I think you bring up some good points about that. And, the whole Liam Hendriks thing, it's like, I think the Moneyball perspective on this, I'm just going to take this a little bit.
Dang.
I have to like always adjust it, I feel like, or whatever. But no, I think from the Moneyball perspective, I think closers have been like the kind of overrated like position there. Because if you're going to like pay $20 million for like one player that pitches like one inning, then it doesn't really make sense as much, right? So if you want to take that perspective, I think it definitely makes sense there. So if we were to trade Liam Hendriks and get a decent catcher there, I mean that's somebody that can be an upgrade. But then it's like, then you have Grandal. Maybe we can do something with his contract, or we kind of just eat his contract a little bit, just have him kind of go on the bench, and then hopefully we get a trade partner or something like that, and the trade deadline and deal with his contract there. So, I mean, that's a potential possibility there. Or maybe we're able to trade Hendriks and then use that his salary basically to, sign some other type of free agent, to fill up the second base position a little bit there. Sign another outfielder of some sort. So something like that, I think it definitely brings a lot of flexibility. But I think, it from a signal perspective, I think towards fans, it's like, wait, you're trading like the best closer in the game. Like, how are we to be considering ourselves contenders when we are doing something like that? Unless, yes, we do sign, a Michael Fulmer, or we're really banking that, Garrett Crochet comes back and like is Tommy John is like cured his everything, all his elements there. So it's just a lot of unknown, I think, to do that by trading, Liam Hendriks there. So, yeah.
And I'm with you. I think it's kind of dangerous. If we look at the Guardians, they have a pretty lockdown bullpen with, Clase and Karinchak and Stefan. It's like, I wouldn't want to just make this trade unless we're getting back some serious, support, some serious help at, multiple positions for us. I think it's interesting just because it's been floated so much right now, but I'm kind of on that side of like, I'd rather do a lower risk, free agent signing or just a very low end trade. And I think for us, looking at the Mets and now, just acquiring Carlos Correa, they've obviously got Eduardo Escobar, who can play third base still. He can also play second. They've got Jeff McNeil, who's an all-star, and Luis Guillorme, who's just, a pretty serviceable infielder, all around the diamond for them. So it's like they've got a lot of guys to play very, few positions, and they've been looking for bullpen help. So, when they were dropping the Hendriks, name in speculations, I mean, I think the best thing I heard was, we got to ask for Jeff McNeil in that situation. Not that we're going to get him because he's almost a 6'4" player and coming off a batting title, like perfect, left-handed, setup guy in their on their team. But I think it's fair to say if we're going to trade you one of the best closers in the game, like we're going to be asking for one of the best second basemen in the game. So, could we add more depth to that offer to sweeten that for them? Possibly. Are the Mets the type of team that are going to take on a lot of prospect value? Like probably not. So I see that as kind of like the one for one that could possibly be interesting. But if we don't go that route, could we do Joe Kelly for Eduardo Escobar or Matt Foster for Luis Guillorme? Like possibly. I think bullpen is an area of strength for us, and it's an infielder of theirs. It could be a strength of theirs that we're looking for. So I think that's where the good matches could come into play. I'd be comfortable with any of those deals. And the only other Hendriks deal I would put out there is what if we go after Gleyber Torres on New York? They're bringing up Anthony Volpe. They've got Oswaldo Cabrera who's pretty much ready for the pros. Could slot in at second base for him. You could move over DJ LeMahieu again. But Gleyber was a 4-WAR player last year, 24 home runs, 75 RBIs. He's on an arbitration deal right now of $9 million. And I think he'll be free after 25. But New York could eat the money that, Hendriks goes over on Torres, and that might give us a little bit more, capital to spend maybe on some free agents just to fill up, maybe the catcher position or something else. But would you do a Hendriks deal for Gleyber Torres or were any of the Mets deals interesting to you at all?
Yes, in a heartbeat. I would definitely do it. I would even do it for even like Oswald Peraza, I think, even too, if we were to go that route. So, because that would certainly free up, some cash for us, to load up on other parts from a roster. I feel like that's the biggest thing about, trading away Liam Hendriks. But then, if we were to get like a really good prospect, like you were saying, the Yankees have a roster kind of already equipped, and they're, it always seems like they're kind of in that win now mode. And especially if, it's a position where they have multiple people kind of, it's like, might as well kind of get rid of them, get rid of one so we can get max value on another kind of hole we need. And I always feel like, with the Yankees, they always kind of want that bullpen help. And, they always want the best. It seems like they always need the best closer or something. So I feel like, with him, they always had the history. I think Aroldis Chapman too, it's just kind of this intimidating force. So, with Hendriks, I feel like that fits kind of right in their alley, with their kind of win now type of mentality. Same thing with the Mets. I would definitely love the McNeil trade and all that, but maybe not likely. But I think any of those players, I think would be great. But I would, personally, I wouldn't mind trading Hendriks though for like a really good middle infield prospect though still, and somebody that is major league ready. And Oswaldo Peraza, like he did play in the majors last year, so he does have some footing in there. So I think he can probably come into this next coming year and contribute immediately in the middle infield there. So I would be happy with him, and like you were saying, like, hey, he's going to be controllable for the next couple of years. So from the Yankees perspective, it's like, why not? But one of the best closers in the game for controllable middle infielder with a lot of upside, why not? I would definitely do that.
That's where my heart rate starts to go up a little bit. Like I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying too, because it is kind of smart. It's like it brings us back to when we were restructuring our team and bringing on guys that could be franchise cornerstones. And like Yeah, could Oswald Peraza be that? Like, it's possible. I'm just worried, like, as we're in our window, would that be a lot of responsibility to hand over to somebody? I know he batted 300 last year, so it's not like he was shook in his first 50 at bats or so. But yeah, I mean, to pry off the one of the best closers in the game, I feel like I'd like to know that we're getting back a controllable, near all-star level caliber second baseman, and that's like undisputable. But we'll just have to see if that deal did go down. I don't know if I'd fully hate it, but I think that yeah, I'm only parting with Hendriks right now unless we're getting like major league ready, borderline all-star talent back.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that makes sense. And yeah, we are. I definitely think that we are trying to win now in a way. So, but it's definitely one of those hedges. I think. Well, Jerry, like spend the money, man. How many more years you got on this earth, right? Just go YOLO, like literally go YOLO. So, yeah, I would definitely do it if it were between Levar Torres and Oswaldo Peraza, then I would definitely take Gleyber because I know what to expect from him and everything. So, but in this case, I definitely still think that Peraza would definitely be a good contributor. And he played at Yankee Stadium, like that's the hardest as it gets basically there. So, yeah, and they liked him over there, so he did well. So I definitely think he could contribute, though. I think second base for sure in this next coming season. So.